rather missing making videos and putting them on YouTube, so I thought I'd make a quick one. And this is a quick show of my CB equipment, excluding my new radio, of course. This is what I have in my room at the moment. It starts out with the power supply. It's a 25 amp power supply. That's all I can really say about it. It's nice to get a good power supply of at least 25 amp, because then you know that whatever you're going to do, it's going to have the power there, it's going to have the ability there to do it. Yeah, so that's okay. That goes to my CB, a Midland 78 Allen Multi, which is a quite standard multi-standard radio. Now from there, I'm going to skip the next box and I'm going to have a look. This is a SWR meter. You can get them like this, or you can get SWR meters like this, where you have to switch between power and SWR. This is my first one. I just bought this one not long ago. I like this better because you can see both wattage and SWR at the same time. I only wish this knob was on the front and these connectors was on the back, and then I would like that even better if it was made in that configuration. But it's not so bad. So I can go on to a channel and I can see what my there's no SWR. If we do, you do set, you put that to the calibration point, then you can go like that. And my antenna is actually tuned really well for the UK channels. So I have that. As I say, I like this way you can see the wattage and the SWR together. So that's why I've chosen this one. I also have an antenna matcher. Now this is turned off at the moment. It has an SWR meter in it, but it's a bit small and fiddly for me. You know, it's right down there. It's a very small fiddly one, so I still have my SWR meter. So in line it is this first, then the SWR meter, and then next I have the matcher. Now the reason I have this is because, as I've already shown you, I mainly use the UK channels. So my SWR on the UK channels, that's channel 1, I think, or was it channel 7? I think I might have got that by mistake. There's channel 1. Yeah, 4 watts and nothing. For the SWR, there's channel 40. A slight movement on the SWR meter, but 4 watts coming out. Everything's great. So I've took a lot of time in tuning my antenna to the right length for the UK channels. But if I then go onto the European channels, I have a slightly different matter. Here's channel 40. Now channel 40 is the top end of the European channels, but it's the closest channel to the bottom end of the UK channels. So I have, let's just make sure that's calibrated right. Yeah, it is showing a 1.5 to 1, yeah, which is not too bad, but right down on the other end, on channel 1 in Europe, we'll show that one, channel 1 in Europe, it's a different matter completely. We're up near 3 and our wattages, whoa, right there, what else happening? So, although my antenna is lovely tuned for UK, it's not lovely tuned for Europe. Now I could go out there and set it for Europe, but I don't use Europe that often, so I'm not too worried about that. And anyway, I'm changing my antenna soon. So I'll be setting up the new antenna to do both when I change it. So what I have is this matcher, and what this matcher does is this matcher is going to reduce the SWR that's returning to the radio. So let's have this turned on, and now let's have a look. Yeah, channel 1 in Europe, channel 1 is 4 watts and just over 1, and channel 40 is channel 40 is slightly higher, because of course channel 40 is more set to channel 40 is closer to the UK channels, so that's 2 and 10. Let me just show you how I adjust that. If I was on there and I saw that, I don't know which order, but you know, you can reduce one, turn one until it goes down. So I'm turning one of these knobs until it goes down, yeah, until the SWR needle goes down, then you see it start to go up, and then go for the other one, and again, one way will turn it down and one way will turn it up. Ah, you see, they've got down there. See, so there, I've got 4 watts and very little SWR going back to the radio, so that's what I was aiming for, yeah? So I can do that on my European channels. Whenever I'm on my European channels, I can do that to make sure that the SWR returning to my radio is at a low level and won't damage the radio. So that's the matcher. As I say, I'm normally on the UK channels, so I don't use the matcher very much, but it's there if I need it. Right, the next thing, these parlour wires at the back. The next thing on my radio is this. This is an anti-TVI filter. This makes sure that this is so that none of my neighbours receive any bad interference on their televisions from my radio system. What it does is it makes sure that only frequencies up to 30 megahertz, and of course CB radio is 20 megahertz, 27 megahertz, so only frequencies up to 30 megahertz can be transmitted, and TVs work on a much higher frequency than what that is, so the CB shouldn't be transmitting anything on the television signal, something like that anyway. And then that goes to my antenna. Before I show you my antenna, I just want to show you one other thing. I showed you the other SWR meter, didn't I? I also have one of these. This is a dummy load. You don't need these every day, yeah? But if you get a new radio, it's handy to have one. If you're going to be using CBs for the rest of your life, yeah, it's handy to have one of these, because if you buy a new radio and you don't know if it's working right, you can bang this into, excuse me, you simply fasten this into the side. Oops, I'm looking through the camera and trying to do it that way. You can bang that into the side of your SWR meter, and what this does is this is like a black hole for the signal. So the signal goes in here and disappears. So there'll be no SWR. There should be no SWR at all. The matcher is turned off, yeah. But what this does, this allows us to make sure that the radio is using the right wattage, yeah. So I can go like that with my microphone, and I see that the transmitter is transmitting on exactly 4 watts. So it's putting 4. I know that it's putting 4 watts onto these coax, yeah. So I know that my radio is working well. See, so this is a dummy load, As I said, it's not something you need all the time. I got this one from Maplins. It's not something you need all the time, but if you're getting radios from eBay or from some other source that aren't new, even new ones, you might want to make sure that your radio is working to its full potential. Right, let's have a look at the antenna. This here clamps onto the back of my satellite dish is my antenna. It goes up there and it goes over there, and it's a Sirio Boomerang. Now it's about, well, it's on the window level of the house here, which isn't ideal because if you look at the estate where I'm in a housing estate, and there's 100,000 million billion houses next to me. And that's the problem, because as there are so many houses next to me, it means the signal has got a lot of brickwork to go through. It's not ideally placed. So one of my next projects next year is to put an antenna that's going to reach above the roof line, so that I can get my signal a bit further out. I've got a new radio, so I want to make a new radio set up in the house. My Midland 78 will eventually go into a boat. I'm going to do an install into a boat, and I'll be putting that on YouTube. But that's where we are at the moment. There's a little look at my CB radio and my equipment. There's a dog. See, it's a crazy dog. Crazy, 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 crazy dog. Yeah. What do you reckon? Crazy dog? Hey, crazy dog.